What is going on, guys? Today we are checking out the Santa Monica from AIMA. Let's jump right into it. This is the Santa Monica from AIMA, and before we jump into all the technical specifications, let's kind of hit some of those important ones. In the rear, we have got a 750 watt motor. Now this is actually a Route 66 is what they're calling it. It's a special motor that AIMA developed in concert with Bafang, and so nobody else has this motor, so that's going to be important later. We got a 15 amp hour removable battery, and it's hard to see it because it seats up in there so smooth, but it's right down here in the down tube. When you're looking at it from the side, you can't see it. We don't get those plastic wraparounds that we see a lot of people do. We've got 27.5 by 2.6 inch tires, full fender set here, integrated lights here in the back, which I guess is the seat stay, chain stay area, and it's really kind of a cool vibe. So let's jump into some of those technical specifications. As I mentioned, let's start with the motor. So the motor is a 750 watt Route 66. So this is, like I said, this is a special type of motor. Nobody else is going to have this on their bikes, and I love it. Super powerful, torqueier than you would think. It also has the appearance of a 500 watt motor. So if you look at it, it looks like a 500 watt motor just from the size of it, but it's 750 watts with 1200 watts peak. So this thing does get up to speed. Now when it ships as a class 2, so our top speed is going to be 20 miles per hour with the throttle or with pedal assist, but you can easily unlock it to class 3, which is going to give you 20 miles per hour with the throttle and then 28 with the pedal assist. Now you can unlock it, which we haven't done on this model, but I just want to let you know it's possible. You take it into an AIMA dealer. They got this little dongle they can plug in, and this thing can get speeds up to 37 miles per hour, which is pretty wild because it doesn't necessarily look like it goes 37 miles per hour. It kind of has this more refined, toned down look, but this will go 37 miles per hour, which is pretty crazy, and that's with pedal assist. So pretty impressive as far as speed and power goes here. Now, I'm not 100% sure what the torque is on this motor, but my guess would be anywhere between 90 to 100. It does have quite a bit of torque, even though, as we've talked about the other AIMA bikes, the torque sensor program on here, because the display, the controller, and the motor are all Bafang components, they synergize really well, and this is, hands down, and I've reviewed a lot of bikes, reviewed a lot of cadence, torque sensor, etc. This is hands down the smoothest bike that I've ridden when it comes to the torque curve that they have, and it's just a heck of a lot of fun to ride. So that is the motor, power, speed. The next thing is the battery. So as I mentioned, the battery is right here in the down tube. Now this is lockable and removable, so if you want to charge this on the bike, you can. There's a little charge port down here, and if you want to unlock it, pop the battery out. They left us plenty of space to do that, so no issues there. And this is a 15 amp hour battery, 48 volt system. So AIMA claims that you can get up to 60 miles of range on this. Now most of the time, if we were just looking at specs on most other bikes, I would say it's probably a little far-fetched. However, because this is a torque sensor and because it's so smooth and so sensitive is not the right word, but it's quick, it's fast, it activates really fast and it turns off really fast. So because it's so economical to use the torque sensor here, 60 miles might not be a terrible range estimate for this battery, even though it's a 15 amp hour battery. So that's, in my opinion, pretty impressive the way that everything's dialed in. The whole unit is more efficient. So battery's up there. Next, let's talk about safety stuff. First thing's gonna be the brakes. We've got these Tektro brakes right here, a left one, a right one. These are hydraulic, and those attach down here to our calipers, and we've got these large 203 millimeter rotors. Most other e-bikes come with 180s is probably the standard. We see a lot of 160s still, but these guys were like, nah, let's give them bigger rotors, and so these are 203 millimeters. I'll say milliliters, but that's just not correct. So 203 millimeter rotors up here and in the rear. So stopping on this thing, super easy. Tektro brakes, very standard across this, really standard across the industry, but definitely at this price point, seeing Tektro hydraulic brakes here is awesome. We've also got a couple of other features. I'm gonna have to turn the bike on, which you can do in 2 spots. You can use the little keypad here or this one. I like to use the screen one because it makes me feel like it's a fancy Bosch system. Go ahead and turn it on, and then over here we've got a light button, so you can press that, and then we've got our headlight here, which honestly is fairly bright. Now they definitely get bonus points for mounting it up higher when you are out and about and it's late, cars are used to looking about there for other cars' headlights. So all of these ones that are mounted down here gives you a little bit of a different throw angle on the light, but having it higher gives you a better throw angle, and it's easier to see for those cars that I mentioned earlier. Here in the back, we've got our integrated brake lights. I think you can see those are on. And then we do get brake integration. So let me see if I can stretch it. So as I'm braking, it's going to show people that I'm coming to a stop, which is nice. And now you're probably thinking like, well, what are these little white lights under there? Are those just reflectors? No, they're not, because those are also turn signals. So you turn your turn signal on, boom, let people know where you're turning, and that is pretty nice. Now these aren't the hugest lights, but they are fairly bright. It is approximately high noon in Texas on a not overcast day, and you can still see that on the GoPro, which is pretty impressive. A lot of the other bikes, I just have to say like, oh, just trust me, it's on, but you can see this through the GoPro. So that's pretty impressive. The other thing that I like, and if you can listen real carefully, there's a little beeping here, so you know that the turn signal is turned on, which for a lot of other bikes, they don't have that feature. And at first it's kind of like, oh, it's this annoying beeping, but it reminds you, sort of like in your car, you get the of the turn signal, that your turn signal's on. So if you've ever ridden a bike that has a turn signal and you're not used to it, you'll be like, oh, that's cool, I'm gonna use it once, and you'll leave it on for the rest of the ride, right? So the fact that they have that built in there is nice. You can go in and change that in the menu from what I understand. I'm not going to because I like that. It also has a horn right here. Now, bike horns are sort of hit and miss. Some of them are too quiet, some of them are annoying. This one is maybe kind of annoying, but it is very loud. I'm still hearing that echoing across the lake. So very loud horn here, which is an excellent safety feature, because if you are coming up behind people and you're going 28 miles per hour because you got this thing in class 3 mode, it is nice that this horn will be able to reach them far before you do. So all in all, as far as the safety features go, a lot of really, really solid components here. On the tires, we'll talk about that last and then move into the tires. We've got this sidewall reflective stripe. So at night, this light's going forward, those lights are going back, and you don't really have anything to the side, but because you got these reflective stripes, if a car lights you up from the side, they'll see these big 2 glowing discs, and hopefully they'll see that and you'll be good to go. You'll be spared. But having that here is nice, just an extra little safety feature. I do like the tan sidewall stripes, which all of the AIMA bikes have. So if you're a fan of the style, they kept that going in this bike as well. These are 27.5 by 2.6 inch tires, but they do feel like they've got a little bit of heft to them. They've almost got like a 2.8 feel. So I don't know if they are oversized or what have you, but they definitely feel girthy, and it's a nice solid step in between a traditional 2.25 bike that we've all ridden at some point, and a fat tire. It's like, oh, you got these almost 3-inch tires on here, which make the ride smoother. And these particular tires are a street tire, so you can see there's not a lot of side knobs to it. So when you have those side knobs, you tend to be able to get a little bit better traction off-road. This one doesn't have any of those, though I have taken off-road a little bit and haven't run into too many issues. It has been raining quite a bit, so I won't be able to do an in-depth off-road trail ride, which I always enjoy doing, but the sand and the dirt I've taken it on, these feel fine. You could swap this out for something that's a little bit more middle of the road, like some Schwalbe tires, where they might have a nice tight knobs in the center for doing road rides, and then some bigger knobs on the side for when you do go off-road. That would be something you could upgrade to, but as far as these tires go, pretty sweet. Regular Schrader valves on here, so any bike pump you have should be able to fill those up. We got a full set of fenders, one in the front, one in the rear, and the only thing that this thing is missing from me not calling it a commuter bike versus calling it a cruiser is the fact that we don't have a rear rack that comes stock on these. Now, from what I understand, in the next month or two, they are going to be coming stock, but they just are getting their racks into the US. So if you're watching this soon after I upload it, the racks are on their way. So if you have one of these bikes and you're interested, there probably will be some racks at your local dealer, wherever you picked up the bike from, that you can snag. But in the future, it is going to come standard on the bike. So that'll be interesting to see if they raise the price for that. I imagine they would. They're adding some more kit to this bike, but that's the only reason I wouldn't say this is a commuter. It's because we don't have that rear rack. As soon as it has that rear rack on here, this is a cruiser commuter hybrid bike, of the highest accord. So up here, let's go ahead and talk about the display, which turned off. It does have the time out there. I'll use this one like a layman. So right here, the display is going to show us a couple things. It's going to show us our speed. It's going to show us that we're in Class 2 limit and the throttle's enabled. And that's something we can jump in and adjust those settings. It's going to show us our trip. Hit this button again, which shows us our odometer, max, speed, average speed. And then we've got our battery. It's going to read us a percentage here, and this little blue bar is going to move across the screen. So that is pretty sweet. You can get in here and change some things, disable the throttle, change actually how this whole display looks. There's a couple different look modes here, similar to the other AIMA bikes. And it's just a nice display. You can see it outside in the direct sunlight, which is nice. You can see it with sunglasses on. A lot of bikes recently have had issues with however they're making the displays. It's pretty much impossible to see with polarized sunglasses on unless you lean way over here or way over here. And as you can see, it starts to get, harder for us to see. And that just means that they did the screen right. And as we're looking straight over it, even with my glasses on, I can still see it, which is nice. Super bright. I think this is at the highest brightness setting. And again, high noon on a hot Texas day. So pretty nice display here. And we got our throttle over here on the side. Now, if it's in zero, pedal assist level 0, the throttle's not going to work, which in my opinion is a safety thing. So if somebody's hopping on the bike for the first time, I always throw it in 0, and then if they accidentally hit this, they're not going to end up on YouTube, one of those compilation videos. So nice that that's here. And as soon as we go into 1, we're going to get our top speed, which is 20 miles per hour right now. And that is also a safety thing. So if you are in pedal assist level 1, you're toting around at 8 to 12 miles per hour, then you see a situation you need to get out of, you can hit that throttle and immediately exit that, cross the street, get out of that situation because you got full power right here on the throttle. So that's another nice feature to see. Got our light, turn that off over there. Adjustable stem, which is pretty nice for allowing this to, be used by quite a bit of different styles of riders. So right now it's pretty much at its flattest. So this has kind of got a little bit more of a beach cruiser vibe. But all you have to do is come over here and adjust this. It's at 10, so it's pretty much as low as it goes. You can bring that up, you can bring those handlebars out, and then if you were a little bit shorter but you wanted more of an upright ride, you can bring those handlebars back to you and up a little bit if that's something you're interested in. So very cool there. The seat post goes down quite a bit. So this is a very approachable bike. They have it listed, I think it's 5 something, maybe it's 5 flat online. I'll have to double check, but it is very approachable, very easy to get on. And then if you are a little bit taller, the seat post that it comes with you go up to right about there. I said there. And now all of a sudden you're 5'11" and you fit comfortably on this bike. So definitely a lot of range as far as the riders go. Decent kickstand on here, pretty standard, something you can adjust. Pedals on here are better than most. These are more of like a plastic pedal, but they spin well. They got a decent amount of grip on here, so not really a huge complaint there. 52 tooth tamer in the front, similar to all the other AIMA bikes, makes it super easy to pedal. Got a derailleur guard in the back. Shimano Altus here, which is, did I say Shimano? Shimano Altus. And this is kind of not the lowest tier. It's a little bit of a step up from that, but it functions pretty well. And right out of the box, didn't have to make any adjustments to it. So that was, it's always nice when that's the case. Up here on the right-hand side, we've got our Shimano rapid fire shifters, 8 speeds here. So if you are somebody who's getting this bike and you're looking to ride it like a traditional bike, go on rides, get some exercise, you do have access to quite a bit of gearing here. If you are in a hilly area, then you've got access to those lower gears to get up those inclines. And we'll try to find a couple inclines to hit on the bike. Pretty much all we have is like overpasses that way. So we'll, that's a little extreme, but we'll see if we can do some hill climbing there, maybe take it at an angle and simulate a decent sized hill for you. But guys, I think that's going to cover it for the specs. If you got any questions about anything that I covered here, let me know down in the comments below. And without further ado, let's get to the ride test. We are out here for the ride test on the Santa Monica, and like I mentioned, when you turn the bike on, it's going to start off in pedal assist level 0. So we're going to go ahead and put it into 1. Hit the throttle real quick because there's mosquitoes around here. Now, different than the other Big Sirs, the throttle is actually going to be capped at our pedal assist level. So we can do that to 2, 3, 4, and then 5 will take us up to our top speed of 20 miles per hour. Now we do have this in class 2 mode, and we will unlock it. You can look at the timestamps, or it'll be somewhere down further in the video. I'll unlock it, I'll show you the top speeds on it. But for right now, we're just cruising around in class 2 mode. Again, the throttle on this one, it has enough torque to feel sporty, but it's also tuned to be pretty, what's the word I'm looking for, efficient? It's smooth is what it is. Smooth is probably the best word to describe it. And do a little off-road and get back to the trail here. But just, you know, toting around with the throttle, it feels pretty good, pretty responsive. And if you were tired and you're like, you know, I don't want to do any pedaling, this is a bike that's going to give you the option to not have to do that. So let's go ahead and put it back in pedal assist level 1, and we'll just do some pedaling. Now in pedal assist level 1, pretty easy. Again, the torque curve's real smooth here. Go ahead and put it in pedal assist level 2. Shifts through all the gears real nice, and again, that was out of the box, didn't have to adjust anything, which is always nice in the review. And some of them you got to put a little, you know, tender love and care into it, but this one we just unboxed it and she was good to go. Now you notice we're in pedal assist level 2, but we're still getting up to that top speed of 20 miles per hour, and that's because on the AIMA bikes, it's more about the, I guess, the power percentage you're getting from the motor in those different classes. So I can get up to the top speed of 20 miles per hour. I'm still in, you know, I'm in pedal assist level 3. If we want to make it a little bit easier to get here, and go up to 5. Going to do a little braking right here. Super easy brake. And when you're in pedal assist level 5, that's when you get a lot of that torque, and you get up to that 20 miles per hour pretty quick. Now you're thinking like, man, I wish it could go faster. Well, it can. And later on in the video, we'll do that class 3 mode or unlocked speed, because both of those are an option, and I will teach you how to do it. So pedaling, very comfortable, very upright ride. And you know, for me, having the adjusted stem almost as flat, I think it's at 10 degrees right now, it's still, I mean, I'm still pretty much straight up and down. I could probably raise the seat just a smidge to get a better pedal geometry, but I'm trying to get a good angle for you guys. So that's what I do, you know, that's my sacrifice. Go ahead and do another braking test here, slam on these brakes. Super easy. And again, having hydraulic brakes, those larger 203 millimeter rotors, braking and the whole stopping procedure here is pretty top notch. And again, we just get up to 20 miles per hour super easy. We're in pedal assist level 5. Go ahead and hit the hill here. Now we're going to leave it in 5. I'm going to downshift into 1. And let's see what this motor can do as far as going up our little incline here. Oh, not a problem. That was too easy. Too easy. Let's go ahead and do it, just throttle. Struggling a little bit with just the throttle, but that does better than most bikes fare on that hill. Incline. I don't want to offend you people who you know, have real hills to worry about in your commute. will go around this corner here, and then we will unlock it, get some higher speeds for all you speed junkies. Now, as far as motor noise goes, really can't hear it. Got a little bit of wind, so that might be masking some of it, but feels like it is pretty quiet. Just a beautiful day out here today. Nice little Texas afternoon. All right, there's a little windy bit up here. We'll get through the windy bit, and then we will unlock it and see what our top speed is going to be. A little bit of loose rocks there, no issues. All right. So in order to unlock it, I'm going to stop, press and hold the up and down button. We're going to go into advanced settings. Now there's a password. I don't know how long it's going to be this, but for now it's 1212. So we got a class mode here. As you can see, class 2 selected. There's a drop down for class 1, class 2, class 3, AM mode, which I'm not sure what that is, and then unlimited. Just for the sake of seeing what you can do, let's keep it in unlimited. We'll go back, exit. Now you see unlimited up here, and the throttle is enabled. So let's go ahead and see how fast we can go just throttle. That's an event and adventure. See another e-bike, you gave him the e-bike wave. All right, so we're at 23, still going. 26, 27, 28, 'So we got to maybe 29 there. Let's go ahead and do pedal assist, see how fast we can get it going. Oh yeah. You can feel that 1200 watts coming out pretty quick in unlimited mode. We're going into the wind. Oh, that's fun. And again, this bike doesn't look like it should be able to go, have that much get up and go to it, but she does. We're really hitting the wind now. So it looks like she's stalling out about 26, but I'm still getting assistance from the motor, so I think if we find a spot where the wind's not hampering us, we'll get more out of it. So go ahead and hit this road, get it behind these trees. I think 0 to 20 is pretty quick. And now all the wind is just me flying through the universe. So hitting 28 pretty easily here. And it looks like for me it's capping out around 28 or so. I'm interested to see what that AM business is all about. So let's put it in AM mode. So again, we're gonna go back into the menu here. Okay, we're in AM mode. I don't see if there's any difference. Don't notice anything on the takeoff. Doing throttle only right now. Alright, so throttle's gonna cut off at 20. Let's see about pedal assist. don't notice much of a difference other than our throttle still cuts off at 20, and the pedal assist feels like it's going faster. So that's interesting. Now, if it were me, I'd probably keep it unlimited all the time. But if you're somebody just looking to go 20 miles per hour, then leaving it in the stock class 2 mode would be what you'd try to do there. Okay, so yeah, so throttle's cutting off at 20 in AM, and pedal assist goes further than that. Now, if I wasn't weighed down with all the camera gear and excess nutrients, I probably could get it up closer to that 35, 37 miles per hour. But for today, looks like that's gonna be our top speed. And guys, I think that's gonna do it for our review of the Santa Monica from AIMA. If you guys want to know more about it, I'll have a link to their website down below. And if you got any questions for me, let me know down in the comments. I love talking to you guys, and we'll catch you on the next one.